Oh, it feels so good to be on a GROM. I love these things, man. Anyway, what's up, boys and girls? Welcome to the very first video of my YouTube channel. Today's video is going to be how to wheelie your Honda GROM. Hopefully if you're getting into stunt riding and you're trying to learn to wheelie, you're getting one of these. You're starting on something small like a GROM, a 125, 110, something like that. So this video is really going to cover how to learn to wheelie, specifically on one of those bikes. It's pretty much the same for all of them as far as the GROM 125, CRF 110s, KLX 110s, all of that. It's pretty much the same concept. And you don't have to have, you know, a fully stunted bike or anything. This is gonna really be for the stock versions of those bikes. You don't need no crazy gearing or anything like that. You don't need a handbrake, so you don't have to worry about any of that. All you need is your foot brake and your throttle and a stock GROM. That's all you need. I got the new misguided gloves on, the new lean back 2025 gloves. These things are sick. Matches the bike, looks fire. Sadly, I'm not going to get to make it this year. I'm really sad about that, but I got the merch regardless because these gloves are sick. The shirt was sick, so you know, it's cool to have, especially since they only come out once a year. So yeah, I got those. Anyway, we're on the way to the lot right now. Hopefully there's nobody there. It's a lot that I've been kicked out of once before, but I was on the MT-07 and it's quite a bit louder than this bike, so I'm hoping if no one's there I can be a little bit sneaky and no one will hear me and come kick me out. So yeah, we'll continue this when I get to the lot. So once you've found your parking lot or your back road like me, you're gonna focus on primarily really one thing when you first start, and that's gonna be learning that rear brake. Basically what the rear brake does is it prevents you from looping the bike. That's really, in the most simplistic way I can put it, that's what it does. Your rear brake is what controls your wheelie, what keeps you from falling or looping the bike and really hurting yourself or hurting the bike. So rear brake is going to be the most important thing, aside from throttle control, of course, when you're doing a wheelie. So what I want you to do for probably your first lot day, which is probably just going to be a couple hours, few hours, something like that, is I want you to be in first gear, right? Make sure there's nobody coming. First gear. I want you to have a foot down. In my personal experience, and I know in a lot of other people's personal experience, learning with one foot down first proves to be pretty beneficial. It doesn't seem as scary, I guess. So have a foot down, kind of lean towards the back of the bike-ish so that you can drag that foot. You're not going to drag it at first, because at first you're going to kind of chase and you're not going to get a balance point. So you're probably just going to kind of dangle, but that's fine for now. Really all you want to focus on right now is going to be that rear brake, and that's going to be primarily what you're going to want to do your entire first lot day, maybe a few lot days, until you really burn that rear brake into your mind and it becomes muscle memory to just hit it anytime you're scared or anytime you think you're going to loop. So what I want you to do is be in first gear, one foot down, like I said, half a butt cheek off the seat, kind of go to the back of it. Keep your foot over that rear brake, not pressing it, but just hovering over it. You want to cover it. What I want you to do is I don't want you to really give it a lot of gas and try to get the bike up that far. I want you to just kind of pop it up a little, slam the rear brake, bring it back down, and make sure you pull the clutch back in, because you're probably going to stall if you don't, but it's okay if you do. It's alright. Alright guys, so this is Future Jack. It's actually the very next day, but I was going through the footage for this video and I realized that I kind of forgot that this was a video catered towards beginners, and I completely forgot to show you guys how to do probably the most important thing, that being how to clutch up, you know, how to get the bike up in general. I realize a lot of you, if you're watching this video, probably don't even know how to do that, but for some reason when I was making this video I just kind of assumed that you already did. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you. It's pretty freaking simple. A lot of people tend to overcomplicate this, but it's really simple, and really the biggest issue I think people have is, like I said, overcomplicating it and overthinking it. But I'm gonna go over it and explain it the best I can, and we're gonna do it in first gear like I've already told you guys, you're going to be in first gear when you pop up the bike. You're going to have half your butt cheek off towards the back of the seat, and then you're going to have your foot covering that foot brake, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and show you like this. I feel like this is, for some people this can be a little scary, and for some people it'll actually be easier. Some people find it scary because they're not moving, and it can kind of catch you off guard. So really, what I'll tell you to do is really anticipate the bike coming up. Like, really be ready for it. Don't let it catch you off guard, because that's kind of a one-way ticket to whiskey throttling or kind of freaking out. So just really anticipate it. And with the GROMs, it does take a little bit of extra, you know, you really use the fork to rebound and bring the front wheel up, and when you start moving, I'll demonstrate, you'll have to kind of bounce on the back seat to get this GROM up. But basically we're just going to start with the basics. It's going to be really easy to clutch the GROM up when you're completely standing still, so this is a good way to learn. So what you're going to do is you're going to have your clutch in. You're probably going to rev the bike to around 3,000 to 4,000 RPM. You may have to do it a little bit higher if you're on stock gearing. This one's up 2 in the rear, so you don't have to give it as much. But if your GROM is completely stock, you might have to give it a little more gas. But basically all you're going to do is you're going to rev it up, and while you're revving it up to your desired RPM, you're going to dump the clutch at the exact same time, and it's going to look like this. And you want it to be one smooth motion. So I'll go over that again. Come to a stop, you got your clutch in. What you're going to do is rev it and dump the clutch at the same time, but you want it to be a smooth motion, all right? And you want to do it simultaneously, so that's what it's going to look like. And the bike should come up very easily. And obviously you're probably not going to clutch straight up to balance point like me, but this is just showing you, you know, how to clutch up, and you may have to practice this for a good while before you even start practicing doing wheelies and practice your foot brake itself. But obviously make sure when you're doing this, you are still covering that foot brake in case you do accidentally give it too much gas and you go up too high and you get really scared. That way you can hit that foot brake, bring yourself back down. So we'll do it again. So from a dead stop, you're gonna, like I said, rev it up, and you want it to be one smooth motion. So what you're gonna look like on the throttle side is you're gonna rev it up, and then you're gonna, once you get up, you're gonna let off the throttle. So here we go. I'm letting off the throttle. See that? So it's really simple, and like I said, a lot of people have problems with this, but it's literally just a result of people overthinking it. There's really nothing to it. Alright, we'll do it one more time, standing still, and then I'll demonstrate it while you're moving. So like I said, you're going to just give it a rev it up to like 4, dump the clutch at the same time. It's really, really simple. So now I'm going to demonstrate it while you're moving. So if you are at the point where you're doing wheelies, I guess rolling, which at this point you probably won't even have problems clutching up, but I'll show you anyway. So in first gear, I'd recommend probably being around 5 to 8 miles an hour. And you might still be at the point where you're dragging a foot, and that's completely fine, in which case just kind of roll at 5 miles an hour. And for first gear, you don't really need to bounce on the seat, but you really just need to push the bars down and yank up on them, kind of. So as you clutch in, push down, and then as you clutch out, yank up. It's going to look like that. The bike will come straight up. But yeah, that's all there is to it. Clutching up really isn't that hard. Like I said, people just overthink it. So just get out there, practice that, and then once you've mastered clutching up, you can move on. So just pop it up, slam the rear brake. It's going to bring the bike right back down. It's going to seem kind of scary at first, but once you keep doing it, and with repetition, it's going to become a little more natural. But all you're really doing is training yourself to hit that rear brake to bring the bike down, and it gives you a feel for it. That way you know the bite point of your brake and all that. And eventually, once you're done doing that, once you're kind of comfortable, you can give it a little more gas, pop it a little higher. You're probably going to chase, hit the rear brake. All right, and then keep doing that over and over again. Pop it up a little higher, chase it, hit the rear brake. bring it down. And all you're doing, like I said, is it's just repetition. You're getting used to that rear brake. You're getting used to the way the throttle feels. And once you do that and get comfortable, you're going to start getting higher and higher. And eventually, you're going to start looking like this. You're going to be chasing quite a bit, still chasing. And you're just going to chase at the end of the gear and probably run out of the gear or hit the rear brake. And that's where a lot of people end up. And a lot of people have trouble getting out of that spot. Really, the only thing I can tell you is just give it more time. You know, keep doing it, because really all that keeps you in that spot of just chasing is just your mental. That's literally all it is you're scared to go higher because it feels like you're so far back. I promise you, you're not that far back. In all reality, if you're still chasing like that, you don't even need to touch the rear brake. Engine braking, even in second gear, is still going to bring you straight back to the ground. So you really don't even have anything to worry about. Like I said, it's all mental. Nobody coming. So you're going to be in first gear again, like I said, 1 foot down. Once you get used to that chasing, and you're really familiar with that rear brake, let's let this car go by first. All right, the car is passed. So what you're going to do, again, have your butt cheek kind of off the seat towards the rear, cover that rear brake, have a foot down, clutch in, give it a little more gas this time because now we're comfortable enough. So give it a little more. Straight up to balance point. That's balance point. Real smooth on the throttle, kind of on balance point, dropping back a little bit, not really. I'm kind of on a downhill here. But this is really balance point, kind of like right here. Because I can pull the clutch in and nothing happens. I just kind of chill. Well, now I'm dropping back, but still. But anyway, as I said, once you pop it up, once you get comfortable enough, you're going to be right around here. This is balance point. Again, what's really, really important, if I haven't mentioned it already, is throttle control. You want to be really smooth on that throttle. Really smooth. And you're just kind of chilling around balance point, maybe chasing ever so slightly. I'm going really slow, and you'll probably go really slow when you first start too. And just really focus on being smooth. I haven't even had to hit the rear brake yet. Balance point. Now I'm hitting the rear brake because I'm going back. Still haven't hit the rear brake. I'm still kind of chasing. In between chasing and balance point, now I'm hitting the rear brake. Slowing down. Bring it down. I thought that was a little animal in the road, but it's just a tire mark. So once you learn to get to balance point and you find balance point, trust me, you will know where balance point is. It's like a weightless feeling. Your RPMs don't really increase much anymore. You're kind of staying around the same RPM range, and it's just an awesome feeling when you're riding balance point. And you're really, once you're there, you want to maintain a really smooth throttle. And let me just kind of go over this really quickly. Is when you do clutch up, what's your throttle is going to look like is you're going to give it, throttle, and you're going to give it a good bit, and then you're going to kind of let off, which I lost it there. Give me a sec. So, notice I gave it more throttle, and then I immediately backed off. So now it's just tiny little inputs of throttle. So let's say you're comfortable with your foot down now. You can get up to balance point. You're riding out balance point wheelies. And now you kind of want to drop back. You still haven't dropped back yet. It's really scary. So you really haven't had to use the rear brake much. You're just kind of tapping it as needed when you get scared. And you're kind of going from that chase to balance point mark, just back and forth. So now you want to slow the wheelie. So now you want to slow the wheelie down. So to slow your wheelie down, you drop back. All right. Some people call it drop back. Some people call it fall back, lean back. There's a lot of different phrases you can use, but drop back is probably the most common. Essentially, all that is you have chase, you have balance point, and then behind balance point, which is dropping back. And when you're behind balance point, the only thing keeping your bike up is that rear brake, and that's where rear brake control really comes in handy and really becomes in useful, especially when you start doing group rides and stuff like that, and you have obstacles in front of you and you need to drop back to slow down. And as you progress, you'll see that you can do a lot of cool tricks and stuff as you learn that rear brake and become more controlled. Just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to demonstrate in second, and I'm going to show you what dropping back looks like. So you're going to clutch up how you normally would. You're chilling at balance point, maybe chasing a little bit. So you want to slow down. So you're going to give it a little more throttle, drop back, be on the rear brake. That is a giant pothole I just avoided. Drop back, be on the rear brake. Tapping it. Oh, I hit that thing directly. Golly. But you see what's happening is as soon as I'm hitting that rear brake and going past balance point, I'm slowing down. See that? This road is rough, but I'm doing what I can. Dropping back, rear brake. Dropping back, rear brake. I'm just lightly tapping it. And it's slowing the bike down. And once you get pretty good at doing that and controlling your wheelie, you're really gonna have a lot more fun. Where am I? I don't even know what this is. Anyway. Screw it, we'll finish the video here and maybe we'll get kicked out, maybe we won't, who knows. Anyway, so as I was saying, pop the bike up. Drop back, rear brake. Drop back, rear brake. Drop back. Oh, I'm kind of all over the place. Alright boys, Future Jack again. Another thing that I realized I forgot in making this video is when I was telling you guys how to drop back, I kind of failed to mention the very important throttle portion of dropping back, or as a lot of people call it too, dipping. So when you're dropping back or you're in a dip, your throttle is going to look a lot like this. And let me demonstrate for you. So you're clutching up, you're at balance point, while you're chasing, you dip, you're going to be completely off throttle on a dip. So off throttle on brake, back on throttle, off throttle on brake. When you're in a dip, you're not on your throttle at all. Basically, whenever you're off the throttle in a dip, you're always on the brake. And whenever you're on the brake, you're off the throttle in most cases, while you're in a dip anyway. If you're maintaining a balance point wheelie, a lot of times you'll be you'll be playing with the throttle, but you'll be tapping the brake at the same time. But if you're going for a full-on dip or a full-on, you're dropping back, you're not going to be on the throttle anymore. So you're in first gear. Drop back. Tapping that rear brake. Chase, drop back. Drop back. Tapping that rear brake just to kind of maintain the bike. Drop back. Tap the rear brake. Slowing it way down. You can go pretty slow on these groms without stalling. You don't have to worry about doing any clutch work. Kind of balance point. Drop back. Tap the rear brake. Slow way down. And if you really want to slow like down to a stop, you pull the clutch in. So drop back, tap the rear brake, give a little more gas, drop way back, come to a stop. So it's really cool. And that's the most controlled version of a wheelie you can possibly do. That means you can wheelie in the smallest areas. You can pop the bike up, you can drop back farther, and basically the farther you drop back, the more the bike's going to slow down, because the bike's decelerating at that point, and you're tapping that rear brake, so you're slowing the bike down. So rear brake control is the coolest thing you can do. A lot of people think, jumping on their 1000s and 600s and doing power wheelies and stuff is so awesome. They have no control of what they're doing, and it's really not that impressive, and it's really dangerous. This is probably the safest and most controlled thing you could possibly do, trick-wise on a motorcycle. You can impress your friends and everything like that. So if you're gonna get a Honda GROM or Z125, CRF 110, something like that, and you want to learn a wheelie, it's so worth it, trust me. Like I said, don't try to do this on a 600 or 1000 or your only method of transportation. Don't do that. Just get something like this and learn to control the wheelie, because it is so worth it. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If there's anything I missed, or if you guys have any questions, put it down in the comments below. The next video is going to be part 2, where we're going to learn a little more advanced tricks. We're going to go over clutch-in coasters, knee knockers, maybe scrapes, just some basic tricks that you can learn once you get really good at, just the basic rear brake control, controlled wheelie, you know balance point, you have really good brake control, and now you want to learn some tricks to impress your friends. We're going to go all of that in part 2, okay? So for now, what I want you to do is, after you've watched this video, go out and do like I said. You know, have a 1 foot down, you're in first gear, you're just clutching up, tapping that rear brake, get used to it, keep doing that over and over until you've mastered it. Then gradually you'll work yourself up higher and higher and higher, and then eventually you'll be riding out balance point wheelies, you'll be tapping that rear brake, you know, just kind of maintaining it, and you'll be golden. You'll be golden. You'll be chilling. It's really, the biggest thing is just seat time. It's a lot of seat time. You put in the time and you develop that muscle memory, and it becomes, you know, it becomes natural. It's like second nature. So just, you know, do that, and then come watch part 2, and I'll probably make a part 3 as well once I get a handbrake and start doing some handbrake tricks and stuff. Maybe I'll go over some basic sit down circles and stuff like that, because I can do that as well. See if I can do that a little bit. Yeah, look, all you need is 1 parking spot to do stuff like that, and you're going to impress your friends. It's going to be super cool. And that's really easy to learn. It's just sit down, clutch work circles. That's something you can do, and people are going to be like, holy crap, that's so cool. There's so many things you can do when you learn to wheelie controlled, and it's just, you're in such a different skill bracket when you can learn to do that. So go practice, and then watch part 2, and you'll start learning some cool tricks. Anyway, if you guys made it to the end of the video, love you guys. Appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.